Generation Zoomer, entitled Weird and Sensitive. They took the worst of all the previous generations and doubled down. They are fighting and creating injustices, causes, and issues. They really don't know what they mean, and they truly don't understand what they are. Their sheer existence is wrapped up in feelings and emotions, likes, dislikes, tweets, and followers, but not much more substance. This includes the male generation of Gen Z as well. This brings us to our special little snowflake of the day. She is ready to bring on fifth wave feminism. But why? I would counter to you by saying, why not? It's been sunshine and rainbows for all the split tails. And you would do yourself a disservice by not doing it. This article is your basic, run-of-the-mill, entitled young lady bringing all your favorite classics, like The Patriarchy Made Me Do It, Women and Girls Are Oppressed, She Has No Voice, Men Need to Help More, Life is Unfair, Because She Must Do Something. She must bring effort. This is our new classic favorite. So let's see if this young lady has a valid point, or am I going to be triggered by the nonsense? Breaking the box and creating a fifth wave feminism. Waking up Monday morning, the butterflies filled my stomach as I remember it was the first day of freshman year. Finally, with the big kids, finally making my own decisions. I threw on my checkered tube top blue jeans outfit I picked out weeks before. As I admired myself in the mirror, I realized the form-fitting tube top might be a little snug. I ran to my older sister's room for advice. Nothing to worry about, she told me. But I wasn't sure. Would I get judged by the new teachers or put into the office because of my inappropriate fashion choices? But this was high school, and things should be different, right? See, I can't help but to wonder if a guy my age on that day, more than 2 years ago, would have been as worried as I was. Today, as a junior in high school, I can say that the double standards grow more apparent every semester. When a discussion in history class finds my male peers expressing a point of view, but my female friends are cautioned not to become emotional, I realize I'm in a box we need to break. Okay. So she made a choice to put on a snug tube top. She was ready to bring the smoke. She was looking for the drama. She didn't get it. Then she went later on, and there was a discussion. Now we know that most schools are taught by women. Women teach most classes. So you're telling me in this case here that a predominantly female-centered career choice that's mostly done by women, yet this young lady feels like she couldn't open her voice in the year of 2020 when this came out. I have a hard time buying that one. I do. Because I know how everybody is, and this generation is pretty entitled to say what they feel like. So, I'm surprised if you were restrained, good on you, but you didn't have to be, because most times you aren't. This leaves the fifth wave. As a 16-year-old, I know my generation gets to create it, but where should it be? Well, that's a good question. There's a point here where you can think about it and say, do we really have anything to go for? That's an option on the table. We know that's not the option that will ever be used, but that is an option. Here's what I think the fifth wave of feminism has to include. Now, I would not use that word no more for any of these ladies, because none of them are that. It's only 10% of a women's population that's probably truly are feminists. The real deal ones, and you know them when you meet them. First, we opportunists have to stop competing with each other. For example, as a young woman, I've felt the pressure to compete with peers for boys' attention or good grades. Trying to keep up with the girl in front of me is an extremely exhausting rotation, leading many women and young girls, like myself included, with anxiety or depression. When we think of going and being independent and powerful by shaming or demeaning other women, we're still following the patriarchy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I do love a good patriarchy. So what did the patriarchy do here? You were competing for young boys' attention, like your peers were. What happened was you went to school with your tank top on, the snug tank top, thinking you were going to come in there and blow it away. You thought you were about to run the show. You found out you were in high school and you were competing with other women just like you, have grown women on top of that. You found out real quick you gotta have to put some work in if you gonna want the dudes you want. If you want the same dudes that these other women want, you gonna have to put in some effort and some work and some energy. Oh, I bet it is exhausting and depressing knowing that you just couldn't walk up in there with a tube top on, but you had to go in here and do the most because there's other ones in there that's going to do the most just like you, if not more. You better get competitive. As for his good grades, that's on you. Don't not blame anybody else. If you didn't put them in, that's on you. You do understand that's an effort system. My grades are only my grades. They don't come from my peers unless you do like a project together once in a while. But that's your effort. But you probably were entitled to get good grades and you didn't get them, and dressing up in a tube top didn't impress nobody. We think we are being independent and powerful by shaming and demeaning other women. That's what you guys do. I mean, you understand how women work. Y'all demean each other all the time. Y'all call frenemies for a reason. I mean, you got a sisterhood, don't get me wrong. Don't mess up the sisterhood. Because that's who's going to have your back later on. But don't get it twisted. That's what you ladies do to each other all the time. Don't blame the guys for that. That's on you guys. Blame your matriarchy. Blame your mamas once in a while. Can anybody blame their mama for doing a bad job? Second, as opportunists, we need more allies. For example, through social media, we can be filled with our welcoming posts and comments to each other. That's that sisterhood. We need to reach each other out and tell men who may doubt feminism and why it matters to us and why it's necessary. The only way for us to be truly revolutionary is we need the support of every person, including men. For the fifth wave to take hold, we need more than just women pushing it for the equality we want. See, at no point here you have wrote 8 paragraphs and you ain't mentioned nothing about men. You haven't said anything about men. Only thing you're accused of is the boys that the girls are competing for the boys that you want, and you have to put in effort and energy. The patriarchy for something, who knows why. But you want the men to step up. See, let me tell you something. The men that you want will not be doing this here. They will not be campaigning for you. I promise you that. Not the way you want it. Yeah, they might be on your side for a few things here and there, depending on how bad something could be. But so far, I haven't heard it yet. Third, oh, by the way, I would never, in my right mind, today, tomorrow, next year, or ever have a young man support any of your guys' causes. Not one, not a one, ever. Because you know why? There's no reason to. No guy wins in these situations. The only thing that can happen to him is truly loss. Nobody has fought for a man, said anything good for a man, has said a positive for a man. You wrote an article, have said yet to say anything cool about a man, about any of the guys in your classes, or anybody being good, or anybody helping these guys out. But you want equality. For what? What does equality actually mean? Everything? Okay. I'm not triggered yet. Third, and the most important, we need to expand what we meant by choice. It should not only mean the incredibly important issue of reproductive rights, the choice of when and how to be pregnant, but simply everyday decisions like choosing clothes for school. From a girl's early days, she has to follow a dress code, including but not limited to skirts or shirts shorter than no one's arm's length, no spaghetti straps, no revealing clothes. Dress codes teach pubescent young girls that's up to them not to be a distraction. These restrictions condone the objectification and sexualization of minors and teach students that it is okay for people to treat them like an object. We need to allow girls to dress as they choose without fearing that their choices will be punished. Now, I don't know if you read your own article, proofread it at any point. I don't know if you had anybody else proofread it, and I'm sure they didn't. Or everybody was on the same team of just being stupid and saying, yeah, go for it, girl. Yeah, you all good, girl. Yeah, say, oh, I like it. Yeah, that sounds sweet. Oh, yeah, girl, put that up there because I'm going to tell you why. First thing first, let's get to the simplest one. The incredibly important reproductive rights, the choice of when and how to be pregnant. Okay, I think at this point here, I think you understand how to be pregnant and how it happens and when it happens. If you do something you don't supposed to be doing without wearing any kind of protection, when you're not ready to do it, boom, you get pregnant and you have a baby. It's pretty cut and dry. Now, the guy doesn't have any rights over it, that if he wants to be part of it or not, or if you lie and say that I was on birth control and you wasn't, usual stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. Now, simply everyday decisions like clothes for school. From a girl's early days, she has to follow a dress code. No, boys and girls follow a dress code. Boys and girls follow a dress code. See, here we are again. So you're talking about how you want the boys to be your allies, you want the men to be your allies, but then welcome and post from women, but you can't say nothing about a guy. You don't think boys have dress codes either? You think the whole dress code thing was invented for girls only? Okay, let's see. Okay. From a girl's early days, she has to follow dress code, including but not limited to no skirts or shorts shorter than one's arm, no spaghetti strap tops, no revealing clothes. Dress codes teach prudettes and girls. It's up to them to not to be a distraction. Okay. You're at school, right? All right. This ain't the bar. This ain't the club. This ain't the kicker spot. This ain't the homie spot. This ain't something you go wild out and do. This ain't a fashion show, right? It's school. Why would you want to come to school wearing skirts shorter than your arm? So you talking about like if you bend over barely, somebody can look up your skirt? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about wearing spaghetti straps where it's just like you barely, like what, no bra under it or something? What are you talking about? I'm trying to get a feel for what you're saying. This makes no sense. Now put yourself on the side of this for a second. Okay, the school took the work out of it, right? They took all the distractions out of it. They took all the work out of it, so you don't have to do it. They say, okay, girls and boys, okay, no spaghetti straps, no little tiny things, no super shorts, no booty shorts, nothing written across your backside. Why? Because all those things can be a distraction, okay, for everyone, for other people, for other students, for other girls, for the faculty, for the staff, and for yourself, because people are staring at you the whole time, which is at some point gonna have you some anxiety problems. And on top of that, if somebody, which you're trying to set somebody up for that, you're set some man up, some young boy sitting up there, he says something to you. Oh God, I'm offended. Oh my God, he said something about me because I was wearing this little tiny skirt and I bent over and you could see up my butt. Because that's what's gonna happen, and then you're mad about that. There's a reason why there's dress codes. There's dress codes at work. If your parents work, they'll tell you. If you say, hey, Mom, Dad, do you have a policy and procedure book so I can read and what it is about dress codes at work? Okay, here. Oh. So you have a dress code? Yeah, every place has a dress code. So people like you, because most of this is for women. Dress codes are mostly for women, and we do understand that. I mean, I'm not going to take away from that. And thank God they're in place. Men, the worst thing a guy would come to do, I kid you not, he would probably come to work with some shorts on. I can see a bunch of guys coming to work with shorts on. Just something silly like that. But they would never think about coming to work on with just a jock strap or no shirt on, just doing stupid. But that's what you guys do. Sexualization and objectification of minors? How did you get that? How'd you get that? How did you come out of that? What, we need to allow girls to dress as they choose? No, we don't. There's a reason why. Because just this article right here is enough reason right here. I would fight this tooth and nail because the silliness of it. This makes no sense. Okay. Maybe I'm getting triggered a little bit. Like third wave equalism, points are intersexual. The grip of a dress code? The grip of a dress code? How about this? How about the divisive jaws clenching grip of the patriarchy on a dress code of young girls does not only include clothing but also lifestyle and hygiene needs. The attitude towards menstruation defines it as nasty and disturbing substance that comes from our bodies, even though it's almost importantly impossible to avoid. Nearly every female experiences at some point, and we're still ashamed to reveal its natural process. Nobody cares. That's the whole point. It's like somebody walking around talking about taking a dump. Nobody walks around. You don't want to look at the hottest guy you think that you know of, and then you sit down, you finally get to talk to him. You're sitting with him with some fries and a Coke, and then he starts talking about his bathroom needs. Yeah, just before I saw you, I took a dump. Oh my God, it was big, it was rounded, it was girthy, and it just hit the toilet like a small tortoise, like, and then it had this, like, I don't know, kind of like, I want to say nutty, maybe chocolatey nutty smell to it. I'm not real sure. Kind of had this brown hue to it. You don't want to hear that. It is nasty. It's nasty because it's a private moment. It's not because it's nasty because it happens. Everybody goes through every single one of these weird things that's a bodily function. That's fine. But nobody sits around and talks about it unless you talk to it with your doctor. There's no reason that the guy you want to date, the hot guy you want to date, sit down with him over a milkshake and start talking about your menstruation problems or why you having them or what they look like and the color and the smell. You know what's going to happen? You're going to look for somebody new to talk to. I promise you. Then we can go back to that second bullet point where you were looking for those guys to be your white knights and heroes, because that's the only guys going to deal with that. Because real men, I guarantee you, real men ain't going to sit around. The first time you talk about that, like, hey, what you talking about that for? What's going on? You all right? You need me to run you to the doctor or something? You cool? Oh, no, I just want to tell you. What? Hold on, let me get up. Go. Nobody want to hear that. That's your problem. Somebody got irritable bowel syndrome, that's their problem. Nobody wants to hear about these things unless they absolutely have to. Not because we're going to have her sit around in a powwow about it. And if you girls are sitting around talking about that, get a life. Figure out something else to do. Get a better hobby. In a study conducted by female voters, 62% of women and 59% women discovered and decided and identified the administration is uncomfortable to talk about. Women are embarrassed to talk about it in their own bodies. This is why you wouldn't think young girls feel the same. The stigma around menstruation influences everyone. No, it doesn't. Let me tell you something. The 10% of the real feminists out here, the real ones, they talk about this kind of stuff. They do it all the time. They into this kind of thing. They like playing in it and feeling it and saying it's, oh, we're special. But these are the same women don't like men. You just said earlier you were competing for men. And for women who like men, they don't talk about their menstruation problems unless they've been with them for a long time and it's a medical problem. And if it's a medical problem, that's when you and your man spring into action. You gotta try to figure out how to help you. Other than that, women and men don't talk about it because, well, you just don't. Man, my God. Where is your people at? Where your people at? I'm going to have a new segment pretty soon called Where's Your People At? Nobody helped read this, proofread it, talk to you about it, sat down. Your mama didn't say, hey, girl, come on. Yeah, there's a reason why we don't do this. Unless she's the one who taught you all this stuff. Because most of them sit around and say, your period is special. And you this like this. And your wings are this. Nah, man, your period ain't special. It's just like any other woman who had it before you and the one who have it after you. It ain't special. It just tells you it's just a ding ding. You get it at 14, 15, and 16. Some 13, 12 maybe. It's a ring the call to tell you, hey, you're a woman, except mentally and by age-wise, you're not. But your body's telling you, well, it's that time, so if you do anything stupid, you can have a kid. That's what your body's telling you. My God. Ironically, some of the most ardent proponents of the dress codes are feminists. Some believe that the order to be a true feminist, they must reject femininity by not being a girly girl or staying away from the color pink. Sadly, this results in feeding the patriarchy exactly what they want. Dismissing femininity, women are allowing the patriarchy, the norms, to continue to control them. Wow. You're not ready for the fifth wave yet. You need to go back, sit down, read your own history just a little bit. Yeah, reel it in, and think about it. Think about what you just said. Think about this for a second. Because y'all even had the audacity to put it as a second quote again. By dismissing femininity, women are allowing the patriarchy norms to continue to control them. Okay, first thing first. Men are fighting just today, this very moment. You listening to this today, tomorrow, next year. There are men out here still fighting, saying, hey women, we want you feminine. We like you when you smell good, look good, dress up, put your heels on, put it nice, put your nails done, get your hair done. We like when you act like a woman. We like that. We enjoy that. That's feminine. That's not a patriarchy thing. That's a guy thing. All guys like that. If guys like women, that's what they like. They like a feminine woman. They don't want a masculine woman. They don't want a woman that's acting like a dude. You didn't want to be like a dude, did you? So when the patriarchy has nothing to do with this, they don't care. The matriarchy, yeah, the matriarchy cares. They care if you don't. They care. Okay? You got to understand the difference between the two. Matriarchy's a woman, patriarchy's a male. Matriarchy has a problem with you. You just said it in your own stuff. The matriarchy has a problem with us dressing up in pink. Huh? The matriarchy. It's okay to say that word. It exists, and it's wrong. You don't have to kiss the butt of every woman you know or meet just because they say, oh, we are strong females. No, you're not. You're not. I'm sorry, you're not. You sit up here and will diss men, wrote all this paper, spent all this time writing this long, drawn-out article about breaking into the fifth wave for no reason. I have got one thing out of you yet that was anything that was worth the time I spent. See, as a woman, we must embrace every quirk and influence younger generation and women to come, whatever. That's the first day of freshman year. Much of my relief, nobody stopped me. Nobody reported me. Nobody made me go home and change my top I was wearing. But the damage was done. Long after the tube top disappeared from the closet, I remember the anxiety I had when I wore it. I'm ready for a brave fifth wave. Okay. Now in short, you have a long way to go and a lot of growing up to do. So you grew up, this is what happens when you grow up, when everything is pretty much handed to you and you don't have to do anything anymore. Okay, you won. I mean, think about it as a winning situation. You young ladies won. It's not a lot to fight for anymore. Let's be honest. The wage gap, we know that's fiction. If there was a real wage gap, you'd think women would be out here suing by now, right? You think there'd be a big old protest suing over this? Okay, so we know the wage gap is not real. They'll use 50 things on reasonings and summaries and points here that, well, because the hours and because we had to have a baby and then nobody uses the part of the education, the extra time, the dangerous jobs, the overtime. Nobody uses those. But anyway, it's irrelevant. When you break this down, there's not a lot here. Okay? I mean, I give you credit. You're trying. I mean, like everybody, I understand it. You're hey, you young opportunists, I give you credit. What this sounds like to me, if you want me to be completely honest with you, as I wrap this up, this sounds like a young lady who wanted to go to school, who wanted to showcase herself and her body, her skills, and then later on build up a nice little following so she can build her OnlyFans. Now, I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, then I apologize for being wrong on that. But I just have a good, strong, hard feeling that it feels like an OnlyFans scam to me. I don't see anything else from here. There's nothing else here that makes any sense. When you think about it, you want to come to school wearing tube top. You want to come to school wearing a tiny skirt. You want to wear the tiniest shorts you can wear, and you want to wear revealing tops. I mean, put yourself in the position of anybody who was a sane, rational person on the other side of this and said, wow, you took away all your other reasoning. After you said all that, everything else you said doesn't really matter. It's almost irrelevant. You made your whole argument weak. You destroyed all your credibility by putting that in there. The third major reason, which was really the main reason, it just didn't want to put it first, so you put it third. Is this what you really want? It stems back to your very first article when I threw on a red checkered tube top and blue jeans. And you went to your third article, if you read that one, girls must follow a dress code, never mentioning one time a boy has to wear one, boys have dress codes, or people have dress codes in general. Well, all I can say to you is good luck, kid. And do a little bit more research. And if you work real hard, you probably can get this fifth wave thing. But at this present time, I'm just going to go out here on a limb and say you're not quite ready yet.
It's okay, baby. You cool. Do what you want. I give you your release. You're free.